ending.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was kind of neat. And then she had to stand up and like, well, I guess I gotta go back.
I truly think they did not know what to do with her character in this season at all.
No.
So yeah, the finale, everybody's been talking about it. It's such a smart, well-written piece of television. Just the fact that they tied all of this together so well and weaved this of like him going back and like going back to the first season, the first episode, going back to changing the scene when he talks to He Who Remains, and like that sequence when he pauses Sylvie and says, "You think this is the first time we've had a conversation?" And then he brings it back, and then Loki stops her himself and goes, "Do you think this is the first time we've had this conversation?"
Yeah.
Like that's so good, and
he basically figures it all out on his own.
Yeah.
And
the centuries gag when he's like, "How long would this take?" Centuries, and it
centuries
says centuries later.
I
love it.
Which, yeah, I mean, like you've got enough time, right? Like, go for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is Loki's ultimate. I think it's a really fitting end for him. And I don't think it's the end for him. I think he's just evolved into he's evolved into the new Eternity to me. Eternity in the Marvel Comics, and we saw not really represented very well in Love and Thunder, which I still think was not a good movie.
That's fine.
Fuck you.
Have your opinions.
Tiki Watiti.
Why'd you say that? I didn't have it ready.
God damn it.
No, wait. Hold on.
Do we even have it still?
Tiki Watiti.
It's all his fault.
No, I just
It really wasn't worth that.
You're gonna make choices, and those choices are going to be stuck after you make them. You know what I mean? Like the reason why, obviously, Tim Blake Nelson is going to come back as the leader in the new Captain America movie, I guess, because he was in that first Hulk, which was way before they had an MCU.
Yeah.
So those little choices that Taika Waititi made in Love and Thunder are far-reaching, dude. And not a lot of them were great, I don't think. I don't really, the whole Eternity being just a big rock is kind of like, I liked it being this anthropomorphic entity like outside of the Marvel Universe that you could visit and talk to. Like a big rock? Just saying. But I think he has become like that in this universe now. And we talked about this off the air, all of the different timelines that he's weaving together, different timelines, multiverse, all that stuff, and that has to do with what we saw at the end of Captain Marvel, too.
Yeah,
excuse me.
Because they're talking about incursions in that, and that's what, and that
Right.
ties into Multiverse of Madness. It ties into all of this, Loki season 1, this, and just to see where this character ends up is kind of insane, and kind of like it's just the dedication to keep him in that role and continue that character where I feel like you could have had an end in Infinity War.
Hot take.
What?
At the end of Multiverse of Madness, where Clea comes and says, "Hey, we have to fix this incursion."
Yeah.
That's what she was talking about. What happened in the Marvels, at the end of the Marvels. And the incursion happens anyway, right? It does, and that's how Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty is born, and that's how we get Doctor Doom somehow. I guarantee it.
Also, I can see how they did this ending to keep them safe from Jonathan Major stuff, because honestly, you could cut Kang out of the rest of the story.
Yes.
Because
they're not going to, but they could recast him.
He is sitting on the throne of He Who Remains. He is the one that's end of time. He's controlling the timeline now, not Kang.
Well, they have Kang or whatever, but
he's holding it together. He's holding it together because he blew it up. So
right.
He's
they could recast Kang anytime they want. They by opening the variant door, they've allowed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could recast.
That's what's so crazy about it. It's the easiest character to recast.
Yes.
He's a multiverse character.
Yes. Like, I mean, there's like 9 different iterations of them, and they're all different.
Yeah.
I just itch my pits. you mind if I itch my pits?
Getting sweaty over there?
I'm gonna itch my pits.
Okay.
Hey.
I got it.
Hey, man.
What?
Hey, man. I'm gonna itch my pits.
Anyway, no, but that whole sequence when he finally understands it, it's almost the same kind of vibe from the first season when the the old school Loki does it. And it was such a cool thing. And there's so many callbacks to the first Thor movie, and there's so many things to this character. And Tom Hiddleston finally got to talk about it because the strike ended, and the way he phrased it was this is the end of his journey, his 14-year journey.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he wouldn't come back, but I think if he, just like with Wolverine, just like how it was with Logan, I think that was a perfect end to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Now, do I think that him being in Deadpool 3 I'm gonna be mad about it? No, we've talked how much excited I am. So if this is the end of Loki and this is the end of Tom Hiddleston, I think it's a great end.
Yeah.
However, given the nature of him being in control of time now,
of the world tree,
he is the world tree. He's the god of stories now. So,
which, by the way, super cool callback.
Yeah, I love it.
So good.
And that visual of him just going out there, you see the horns slowly come up, and there's this big crown, and you're seeing King Loki now.
I gotta be honest, man.
That's the thing too. He finally got the throne.
When he blew up the loom, and it all those spider webs, basically timelines exploded, and it was just dark out there and shit, dude. That was scary, dude. I was oh god, just an endless. God knows what's out there, you know. But he knew what to do, man.
But to see this character go on this journey of being this arrogant, pissed off, vengeful god to being someone that sacrifices everything to save all of the timelines.
It's beautiful.
And I joked with you talking about it. I was like, I just wish Thor could see this version.
And I think he will.
Loki.
I think he'll.
Because he'd be so proud of his brother, because that's all he ever wanted. He never wanted... Thor always loved Loki.
Mm.
And that could also... And we're not going to get into Love and Thunder. Well, I think that's why Thor's in that weird place, because he feels so much guilt. And I've seen this argument online that, Loki has such a better arc now than Thor, and I was like, do people forget that amazing 3-movie run from Ragnarok to Infinity War to Endgame for Thor? His story is so, and it makes sense that Love and Thunder feels the way it does is because he's confused. He doesn't have anyone. His family's all dead.
Yeah.
Asgard is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there's new Asgard, but that's not his home. And I love that callback to sending those scrolls to New Asgard in the Marvels when Valkyrie shows up. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that last shot of him just grabbing it all, all the timelines and walking right towards the throne for He Who Remains. I was like, it's good shit.
Good shit.
Good shit.
I liked it.
His interaction with He Who Remains was good too. I liked that a little bit. That surprised me. I wasn't I thought they were going to talk, but I didn't think it would be that long of a conversation.
I had no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
After I watched that penultimate episode, I was like, okay, so obviously the last episode is how to fix it, how they fix it, and I didn't expect any of it, and that's what it was good. Just like the Marvels, there's some choices that were made that I didn't really care for, but again, if every piece of art that I viewed was all choices that I would make, then this world would be really boring to me.
Yeah.
Art has to challenge you, and I said this earlier in the podcast. It does. It has to give you a reason to be like, okay, well, maybe the way I've thought about things or the way I've looked at things isn't correct. And if it doesn't, then it's just mindless claptrap, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that claptrap. You know, we all watch... I love Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares. I love all the the Gordon Ramsay stuff. My mom loves The Voice and America's Got Talent. Okay, it's not my thing, but everybody's got their thing. Their guilty pleasure, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think there's anybody, you know, I don't think there's anybody that's going out there going, I just want to watch stuff that's interesting and intellectually stimulating and everything. Like, no, everybody has to have like that. You know, I put on Night Court or news radio, you know, something I've seen a billion times just to turn my brain off. But everybody's got one. Everybody's got one. You know?
You know? Where do we go?
But I like stuff that challenges me. And that's two of the things that we have talked about already. Loki and the Marvels. Challenged.
And I saw people being like, wait, the time stone's green because it was Loki the whole time.
Hey.
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes. That was pretty funny.
Anyway, I don't see a season 3. I think this is the end of Loki.
Should be.
For a while.
Yeah.
And that final shot has been, I've seen it all over Twitter. It's such a great shot of him just, this tear.
Single tear, like when you drop the wrapper on the ground in front of the Indian?
Native American.
That was a commercial back in the 70s. It was a...
I know what it is. All right.
Okay, all right. Well, fucking stop.
All right. Just keep moving down the list.
Move on to the next. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.